Well, today's little oil lesson chat is going to be wild orange as well as vanilla. Both familiar, I think, to all of us, right? You might be wondering why it's called wild orange, and I don't really know. But I will tell you that wild orange and sweet orange mean the same thing, like the kinds of oranges that we're used to eating. Whereas the bitter orange, that's referring to a whole other fruit that's called a citrus called bergamot. But today, we're going to talk about the wild orange. You guys have probably all had the experience fresh peeling an orange and notice that there's this moisture, this little mist of liquid that kind of squirts up from the rind and sometimes shoots you in the eye. Same thing with all the other citruses, grapefruits, lemons, limes. Well, that liquid, it's not juice from inside, but it's from the rind. That is actually the essential oil of the orange. And so we get that cold pressed from the rinds of a bunch of oranges, put it in a bottle, and that is our wild orange essential oil. And you know that the scent of the orange is uplifting. You might notice that it stimulates your appetite, and it, like all citruses, has this mood boosting and just cleansing property to it. It can be really beneficial in a lot of ways for your health, for boosting your metabolism, and it also is protective. The essential oil of orange is protective for your DNA, for your cell health. Isn't that great to know? Same with myrrh, same with frankincense, same with peppermint, maybe probably fir too. It's going to help boost your immunity. We all can use that. Isn't that great that in the wintertime, at least here in Arizona, is when we have our fresh oranges that are in season. And I was really blessed in our previous home to be able to live in a home that had a beautiful mature orange tree. And I'm grateful for that. Just interesting fact, all of the orange trees, in fact, we have orchards and orchards. It used to be a even bigger part of the local agriculture around here. That represents an amazing amount of work and effort. That they first have to grow lemon trees because they're more sturdy, and then what they do is they use the trunk of the lemon tree and put the orange tree grafted into it to grow the oranges. So that's a significant investment in time. That shows faith, doesn't it? Just like any orchard, work, 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 and then eventually you have this harvest that just takes maintaining and watching over, that it's not nearly as much work as when you were originally getting it going, and you're going to be receiving more and more fruit as time goes by. So one of the wonderful experiences that I had that time that we lived in the home with the beautiful orange tree, and some of you maybe received bags full of oranges from us because on those big producing years, we had more than as much as we could ever want and more, and I didn't want anything to be wasted. And so we'd go out every day or so and pick, maybe a couple dozen oranges, fill up the bag. And I know that's just one orange tree, and some people have several or an orchard. And what a blessing it is to have friends we can get the fresh citrus from, and knowing that it's not been tampered with in any way and it's just fresh and delicious. It was such a blessing. Well, one of those days when I had gone out, and this was an orange tree that had been pruned so that it was the branches weren't too thick, but they had been trained to grow, just such a way to kind of maximize the exposure for the sunshine and the air circulation and the bees and everything. And so it was a wonderful experience to be able to just be right up in that tree and look around and just see oranges, 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 oranges everywhere. And it just had that impression of this. And I later learned that orange is a symbol of prosperity and abundance and also gratitude and generosity, which seems to me to be a very perfect combination. Some cultures, they're called golden apples. You think about, if you've read the Joy Luck Club, where they use their mandarin oranges as kind of a currency. So also a wonderful film I'm going to give you a link for, The Christmas Orange, that is indicative of a lot of early Western, American experience of having that gift of that precious orange at Christmas time. You can probably identify with that or have heard stories. So being able to just see and smell all these beautiful oranges and to feel like there was endless potential and endless opportunity of just gifts that were coming to me and blessings. And now I understand more about the chemistry of the essential oils and how they work with your brain, and inhaling that it really does go into your mind and give you those kinds of messages of that abundance. In fact, let me read from the Essential Oils and Emotions book really quick. When we're inhaling this orange oil, it's covering so many emotional issues. I love that it's the primary ingredient and one of the major scents that you smell in our protective blend that we use to deal with things like flu and viruses, and to diffuse in our homes to make sure that the home environment is free of those kinds of pathogens and everything. Because at the same time, we're addressing so many emotional issues. So it inspires abundance, fosters creativity. We could all use that, right? I love that we're celebrating creativity together right now. Supports a positive mood, restores physical energy, and aids in transitions. Interesting, huh? We're always going through transitions. And look, we're at the end of one calendar year, getting prepared to go into another one. So there's transitions right there. We just finished one school term. We're going to start another one. Orange also reconnects individuals with their inner child and brings spontaneity, fun, and joy and play into one's life. So think about that this Christmas season as you're enjoying your oranges and citruses, and realize that those are gifts from our Creator that have been placed in the earth, so that not only are we getting nutrition for our bodies, but we are in pencil sharpener. Saturday morning, the artists are at work. Creativity. I'm diffusing some Holiday Joy blend and orange together. The other day, I was diffusing frankincense and orange and peppermint, and frankincense blends well with pretty much everything. And I'm thinking orange blends with a lot of things too. I diffuse it frequently. Well, I love that doing that is just giving us all these blessings on every level, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So, and if you live with children, you really, this is one of my parenting tips here. I'm going to say you need to keep yourself in a zone of being fun and joyful and able to play, because otherwise it's just going to be really hard. Especially, well, I don't want to say just boys, but a lot of you know I have 5 boys. I also have 3 girls, and they're all at times very full of energy and creativity. It was just amazes me. Okay, so orange teaches the true meaning of abundance, encourages you to let go of scarcity mindset. And I actually had the realization just today that scarcity is not just in terms of resources, money and everything, but it also can be time. Feeling like I don't have time to fit everything in, and it has to be one thing or the other. Okay, so scarcity mindset, fear, nervousness, inflexibility, workaholism, lack of humor, belief that there's not enough. So orange reminds the soul of the limitless supply found in nature. Oh, like I was saying, fruit trees like orange give freely to all in need. So orange essential oil teaches us to give without thought of compensation, and remembering that there's always enough to go around in nature. Letting go of the need to hoard, the epitome of scarcity. So I guess we covered all that pretty well. You can get these books and read them, or different apps and things. I just want to make sure that I touched on all the stuff that I wanted to tell you about. You do need to know that all citrus oils, except for green mandarin, which is a Chinese orange, harvested while it's still green and cold pressed to get the oils, does not have this property of being photosensitive, but all the other citruses do. The bitter orange, or bergamot, is the most extreme. That's like the most photosensitive. And what I mean by photosensitive is that when you apply it on your skin and then you go out in the sunlight or tanning bed or something like that, that it's going to increase your likeliness of tanning or burning. And so you do want to be aware of that you want to wait 8, 12, maybe more hours before going in direct sunlight. And so if you're applying orange to yourself, do it at night, and you're probably going to want to use carrier like we talked about, or under places where it doesn't show. I actually put orange over my heart frequently as an emotional boost, combined with this beautiful blend called Immortelle, which is supposed to be an anti-aging blend, but it's got frankincense, myrrh, several others, and so that is a spectacular emotional blend also. So I just wanted to make sure you know, not to just, rub your orange peel oil on your skin, because it could make you tan or burn more quickly than you normally would. So blends that contain orange, we got that immune blend, because it does have those great antioxidant properties, and the cell DNA strengthening. I'm trying to be compliant here. So I did tell you there's a study in Hong Kong where they used orange oil with ginger oil topically on knees for pain, and found that it was very effective. And we also, interesting fact about orange, the orange tree produces oil called neroli from the flower petals, and petitgrain from the twigs and branches, and orange from the rinds of the fruit. Well, you may think that orange oil is only stimulating, but for a lot of people, it's perfect for sleeping. So if the other things aren't working for you, like maybe lavender and whatnot, try diffusing some orange or smelling some orange before you go to sleep. See how that helps you, because it might be some of those emotional issues. It might be that you just need to relax and be open to possibilities and different solutions, and that's going to help you to be able to rest. Okay, we have found that they have done a study that it helped with elderly dementia patients for sleep, and it's, like I said, or did I say? I just want to make sure that I say, because there's so much and it's all important. And anxiety and depression, citruses in general, but orange is one that they've done some clinical studies on, and it's very helpful. And so that is probably adequate for now. Generosity and abundance, wild orange. But I also want to give a little bit of time to talk about vanilla. Vanilla is not an essential oil that I currently have, but it does appear in some of the blends, like the Women's Hormone Support Perfume Whisper, Serenity, which is just all things calming, like it's got lavender, marjoram, and a few others. And there's one called Citrus Bliss. So, and if you receive those little samples from me on the day, was it day 11, I think, that it says orange, that's not really orange, it's actually Citrus Bliss. I'll tell you that later, which is just all the citruses and a little hint of vanilla. So it turns out vanilla has some wonderful properties too, and it's familiar to you because in the 90s, all the manufacturers of like the home decor and home perfuming, you know, like the candles and things, they really were going crazy with vanilla because they understood that it has those emotional ties to home, security, calmness. It's also an aphrodisiac. It was known by the native people where it's indigenous to be good for calming the digestion. And so a lot of medicines over the last couple hundred years have featured a little vanilla to neutralize any yucky taste. And so, and they do find that it is antidepressant and appetite suppressant. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? And the reason that it's appetite suppressant is because it addresses those emotional issues of like wanting comfort and wanting something, which sometimes is what's driving your I gotta eat some more impulse. So I just think that's pretty cool. Orange and vanilla. Please let me know if there are other, questions about those. I hope that I explained really well about the photosensitivity. Doesn't mean you can't put it on your skin. It just means that you want to be mindful of if you're going right out in the direct sunlight. Enjoy your song for the day. Thank you very much.